Hello, fabulous superstar Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of September 2025. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. On the first of the month, Saturn will retrograde back into a friendship part of your sky. Now, Saturn did spend a long time here, starting in March of 2023, and it was only in the later part of May of this year that Saturn officially moved out of that friendship part of your sky and instead in the sign before yours. And that has to do with soul, psyche, spirit. Well, you're going to get a bit of a break. You got a little bit of a taste, but now here comes Saturn again, right out of the gate. Saturn here is going to help you to wrap up some loose ends that have to do with being very honest with yourself about whom it is you are aligned with, the group dynamics you find yourself in, whom it is your friends are, what is the true nature and strength of those friendships. With Saturn, where friendships have been good and are strong, they grow that much more meaningful. But where they are not, where they might have become superficial, or maybe you've become someone else now over the period of time that you knew them, they give you a chance to just check in with yourself, but ultimately might have you going in other directions. You can't help but not be honest with you under a sky like this. And having Saturn return here means that wrapping up of loose ends means that there's something more to understand, something more to see before it is that this larger transit is over. Now, it will be just before Valentine's Day next year that Saturn will leave this friendship part of the sky, not to return for about 2.5 decades to come. So you'll get a good long break as Saturn moves on to other parts of the sky. Now, it is going to be on the 6th of the month that we are going to have Uranus go retro. Uranus right now is moving through a financial part of your sky having to do with money you earn, money you spend, self love, self esteem. Again, the theme of this year is taste, right? For all of us. You got a little bit of a taste of what it is to have Uranus not in your sign. It was all the way back, like 2018, you started feeling Uranus moving into your sign. It's been this energy of revolution since then. Back in July of this year is when Uranus stepped out of your sign. And it's about taking all that truth and clarity that you've come to know about yourself and now applying it to how you understand prosperity and abundance, allowing that to fuel a clearer, lighter sense of healthy self love and healthy self esteem. As Uranus stands still in the sky and begins to go backwards, it is right around those days that a planet changes directions, that it truly is at the height of its power. And with Uranus, it is a surprise a minute, if not a shock a minute kind of energy that we have here. So be open to possibility. Yeah, this could be a bit of a roller coaster. But the wonderful thing with this energy is, again, it's the first taste, but it is about understanding what's worth the money and what isn't. Whether that's having to do with how you're earning your money or how you're spending your money. It's about putting money in its right place and prioritizing instead you being able to be and embody some truth of yourself and whom it is that you are. So this is some incredible energy. A lot of us are going to be feeling a surprise a minute about a week into this month. That certainly includes you as well. Now, I will say the following day, the sky kicks into high gear, continues in high gear. We are going to start eclipse season. Yes, here we are, the 7th of the month. We are going to have a lunar eclipse. And this lunar eclipse is taking place in the same part of the sky that Saturn, just about a week earlier, had moved into. And so, this friendship part of your sky, lunar eclipses bring with them truth. Right? It makes the truth clear, but very often it is an emotional truth. Now, the wonderful thing about this particular eclipse is it is speaking in supreme harmony with Jupiter, which does tell me that whatever it is that feels like it is being revealed, whatever it is that feels like it's coming to a close or it's wrapping up or you're seeing some truth and it's maybe, on the surface, it seems rather dramatic, but really there are good things happening here overall. And again, whether it's through a friend, with a friend, the end of a friendship, the start of a new one, Whether it is seeing who your friends really are, realizing your place within a group dynamic and where it is perhaps it's not meant to be, this is part of what might stir for you in some way at this time as part of figuring out the best way forward for you in particular. But having said that, what remarkable energies we have here at play, I will say, because this eclipse in particular, a lot of emotion is going to come to the surface, but even that just might feel like a blessing. Whether it's how you feel about a friend or how a friend feels about you or a set of circumstances they bring into your life, whatever truth comes forward, embrace it because it could change your understanding of how it is you want to navigate forward with this person or not. It will be on September 21st that we are going to have this month's solar eclipse. A new moon solar eclipse is set to take place, and it is a powerful one. I know I mentioned this to you last month as well, because last month we had a new moon in the same part of the sky at the very beginning of that sign, the sign of Virgo. And it is going to be this month that this solar eclipse happens at the very end of its sign. Any new moon brings with it a new beginning, but this new moon in particular will bring with it a beginning and an ending together. Now, add to this the fact that this particular new moon solar eclipse is in a larger kite formation right now. And that means it is part of this larger harmonious configuration, but it's also got its tension. But for those students of astrology out there, also know that it is a kite, but it's not a true kite. And what I mean by that is it lines up in terms of degrees, but not necessarily in terms of elements. Where it does line up in terms of elements is the opposition to Saturn. Okay, so that's all the nerd talk there to say it's a powerful energy, but there's enough tension there so that we make the most of what can be so good at this time. Now, for you, it is a solar eclipse that is happening in fellow Earth sign Virgo, a heart oriented part of the sky, having to do with what you want in your heart of hearts in every area of life. And this is about creative fulfillment, happiness, what joy is for you as well. All of these matters are going to come into focus. It is very possible that whatever happens in some way feels connected to what was taking place right around the 23rd of last month, because that is when we had that new moon take place. So, yeah, be mindful. This eclipse might feel like it provides a whole other perspective and a breakthrough, although some type of continuation as to what was taking place in your life way back in the later part of August. But now it's different. It's a whole lot more clear and very quickly at that. And it allows you to understand that much more fully what you are really wanting. As soon as you identify it, it can be a time of real breakthroughs. Saturn being opposite does say that there is a sense of pressure being on you. I'm sorry to say it does happen. Maybe it's responsibilities. Maybe it feels as if, there are factors there, people there that are being overbearing in some way. But ultimately, this larger configuration is playing out, which means that all these energies pointing towards this solar eclipse do say great progress can be had. Bold, wonderful beginnings and fortunate closures can be had if you are willing to roll with it, to listen, to see how you feel every step of the way, but also where it feels right to act or speak quickly. Saturn says make sure you do the work, but where you've trusted you've done the work, well, that leaping quickly could have you securing what feels like a win. Now, where it comes to matters of love, the very big news for you, without a doubt, is that on the 22nd of the month, Mars will move into your opposite sign. And when it is that Mars moves into your opposite sign, very quickly, partnerships become that much more important to you. And what I found with Mars is wherever Mars goes, it's like we feel we need to pour energy in that direction. And that certainly could be the case with you now. If it is that you're open to meeting someone new, this energy should last about a month and a half. And over the course of that time, there tends to be a lot of motivation and determination to actually align with someone, to feel a sense of connection, a sense of partnership with someone. And that'll have you being courageous, taking chances, being more bold than you might otherwise be. all of that can lend itself to an awareness of your own passions and your own strengths, especially at this time. For those of you just starting to date someone, if this is someone to navigate forward with, well, chances are, especially as we move into the second part of the month, you're feeling that much more motivated to be with this person, around this person, present with this person. And there might be a sense of giving happening, but just be careful with that. If you feel drained in any way, that's a signal to you to maybe stop, take a breather, and figure out why it is that you're giving what you're giving. Is it worth giving? Are you losing something in the giving? That can be an important consideration. But for many out there, that isn't going to necessarily be the case. It's going to be that you feel very energized by the possibility of moving towards partnership with this person. But if this is not someone to navigate forward with, let me just say they're going to really tick you off. I'm sorry to say that, but yeah, that's the kind of energy Mars can be. Either Mars is passion or Mars is frustration. Either Mars is determination or Mars can be anger as well. So again, if this is someone to navigate forward with, things will get to a whole other level of passion. But if not, they just might tick you off, and that's okay. It's good to at least know how you really feel. For those of you in an established bond, the overwhelming majority is going to find themselves wanting to spend more time with your partner, be more present with your partner, feel as if you're able to have that sense of sharing, maybe even pouring energy in their direction. There tends to be a little bit more or a lot more give and take with established partnerships as opposed to someone that you're just getting to know. And so, yeah, if you've really been with this person for a long time, just know that they're going to come into focus now for about a month and a half. Outside of that, though, if it is that you felt for a while that you might not be in the right relationship for you, again, I want to say you might feel a little ticked off. It's very possible as part of the overall trend of this time because Mars is honesty and Mars invites you to contemplate, consider your power and the limits of your power. We have no power over other people at all. People do all kinds of things for their own reasons. However, it is you that brings that sense of openness and awareness and possibility and excitement. It is you that brings that sense of wanting to explore the truth that is right for you. And if it is that you and your partner are meant to grow stronger and move forward together, well, it is going to be now that you start to see the steps to get there. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It is a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I'm going to say I love, well, eclipse season. Let's just say that eclipse season, that period between eclipses, where the ancients believed that the veil between the worlds was especially thin, and it becomes easier to recognize your spiritual lessons at play. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. Well, I'm going to say that very powerful solar eclipse, it is deeply connected to the new moon we had just a month earlier. And this solar eclipse is part of this larger, supremely harmonious configuration called a kite formation that I think is very powerful, especially considering all of these huge planets are pointing right at this solar eclipse, which does say that it holds a lot of power, but it also very likely is going to be very consequential for the collective, yes, but also in your own life as well. In addition to what I mentioned, this part of the sky also has to do with things like romance, flirtation, and what you want in every area of life, the heart feeling lighter, more excited as a result, whether it's romantically or otherwise. And so, yeah, there might be some sense of really consequential or meaningful flirtations that do take place, regardless of what ends up happening as a result or whether or not it's even a good idea, I will say. But it's about your experience. It's about how you are feeling. And it's almost as if all of life is lining up to help you to tap into the power of your heart. And boy, is that power ever immense. Well, thank you so much for watching. Consultations with me and Andy are available over on my website, nadiyashah.com/consultations. And also check out the Superstar space. Lots of bonuses there for members. And that is at thefutureismagical.com. All those links are below. Thank you again for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.